Who did this? Who the freak ate my snack pack?
Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to be doing a full review of the Touch New markers. This is a design that popped in my head as soon as I saw them. I really just wanted to draw a grayscale witch, kind of with like a bohemian hipster-esque kind of look to her. So I've already got it sketched out. I'm currently lining it with the Pigma Microns. I also apologize for any background noise. I have too many cats and it's currently Christmas break, so I've also got a child at home. I did promise that I would get this done. I apologize that it took me so long. I've had this drawn and recorded for quite some time now, but I haven't had a chance to get audio recorded. Well, I've had plenty of chances to get audio recorded. I haven't had the motivation to do it, and so I decided to do it on one of the loudest days of the week. But nevertheless, I wanted to get it done. So I also want to apologize for my portrait skills. I'm not the best at drawing people. I am attempting to get better. So consider this practice since I haven't really drawn much. Christmas break has really stretched the limits of my attention and motivation. Just as a heads up as well, obviously this is fairly sped up. This is at 400% or just a little. This is technically at 399.98% speed. I am clearly not that fast, but real time, I think it took me like 2 or 3 hours, and I don't have enough to talk about in 2 to 3 hours time. So I did get these Pigma Microns at the same time that I got the Touch News. I've used Microns before and I absolutely love them. This set gave me more variety in sizes, and I'm very happy with the size options. Using much thinner pens has given me a little bit more to work with in terms of details and stuff. But yeah, so this is a lot of practice. Just trying to get some portrait skills in. I don't honestly remember what reference I use. I'm sure that it is in my Pinterest art references folder, which will be down in the description. A link to that will be down in the description below. And I kind of just rolled with it. I know I don't have like an exact reference to this. I kind of pulled several out. So I did not put a lot of detail into the line art of this. I mostly wanted the markers themselves to do the work. So, I mean, obviously throw some eyelashes on there and some of the obvious wrinkles that would be involved in the face and stuff, but I wanted to let the markers do most of the work. And here is where where I forgot to hit record after I took a break, and so I got working on the skin and the lips, and then I was like, oh, I haven't been recording this entire time, so I started it, and I'm sorry, but yeah, I went with one of the lightest shades for her skin, and it's pretty streaky, but that's honestly, I think it's more of my fault than the markers. The markers blended fairly well. There is quite a bit of bleeding with these markers, but again, I think it's the sketchbook. The paper feels different than the last time that I got the sketchbook. There is a 4.5-year difference between purchase dates for it. And these ones honestly feel a little these markers feel a little wetter than the Ohuhus, so that's also something. And then I'm just drawing in some highlight lines that I left out in the original sketch. And I'm trying to decide what colors. I know I'm showing the camera, but to be honest, it's been so long since I recorded this that I don't know exactly what shades I used. I know I went with a cool gray. I know I went with cool gray for it, but I'm not 100% certain of what the exact markers are. And again, I apologize for the background noise. Very young kitten. It's been so long since I've had a kitten, and I forgot how loud they are. So I'm obviously going with a pretty even mid-tone for the hair itself. I think this is Cool Gray 5 or 6. And because her skin was so fair, and I planned on drawing the hat really dark, so I wanted to make sure that there was a little bit of a break between the two. With not doing any colors, there's a lot less options when it comes to, you know, how to break up the sections. But I do find that I appreciate grayscale more, just the break in tones and everything. It's more work, it feels like, but at the same time it feels more rewarding once you get everything planned out and done better than you expect. And certainly at this point I was very happy and honestly surprised with how good it was turning out in my mind. And I know that there's obviously some issues with it, and there's some flaws and stuff, but to be fair, I'm not a portrait artist. I'm an amateur at best when it comes to a lot of art. So when it surpasses my expectations of my skill set, then I'm happy. And this is when I realized that like the bleeding was really bad. Every time I would lay down something, even if the marker, the base marker was dry and everything, especially for whatever reason, Cool Gray 3 seemed like it bled everywhere. So it was pretty rough to work with that, especially because that was my base shading layer. Just filling in her necklace. I planned on using a silver Uniball gel pen to kind of touch up that necklace. So this is just making sure that the choker part of it is colored in, and then the snap and pentagram would be obviously silver. So this is me trying to figure out what I kind of derped on a lot of this. Hair, and I realized that I used a much darker gray for the eyebrows, which I guess works. I mean, it works really well, but I didn't intentionally plan on using that dark of a gray when I first did it. I remember being like, shit, this isn't the gray I used. And then the hat, and this was a challenge, because for whatever reason I was like, yeah, I'm gonna use the bullet nib to color in this hat, and then I'm like, oh my god, this is super streaky. Which I guess it worked. Like I went darker on it just because I derped. But I mean, it turned out pretty okay. A lot of the problems with drawing these things too is, you know, I've got kids at home and stuff. So like you'll see me take a break and it ends up being a few minute break. Of course, with the magic of editing, it only seems like it's only a few seconds, but a lot of those breaks are me answering questions from the kids or having to run and do stuff. And it's just easier to leave it in the time lapse than to trying to cut it out. But that's my life. Yeah, I'm not as happy with the hat. I feel like I should have just done it solid with the way that I did it, because it just ends up looking like kind of poorly patched worked together. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's certainly not what I was wanting or what I was trying to do. And I keep checking to make sure I'm not bleeding through to the next page, because this is a lot of alcohol marker that I'm just slapping into a page that's not really meant for wet mediums. I think with the darkening, because I know I'm using Cool Gray 9 here, so darkening it up at the base and giving more of a separation. And then I want to say that this is Cool Gray 8. Like I'm really just slapping in that dark. This is probably Cool Gray 7. And now I'm just trying to fill it in. And like I keep like, I don't really know what my thought process is for some of this. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try and blend this, but I'm also gonna just slap a fucking line through the middle of it. Kablamo! Hat kind of done. About as done as it'll ever get. And then I'm coloring the top, and I truly had no plan, like no idea how I was going to do the top to begin with. And it clearly shows because there's no real rhyme or reason to it. And of course it's out of frame because I'm a doof. I also forgot to put that piece of paper that I was using to catch the bleed. I forgot to put that behind it immediately, so it bled to the next page, which, I mean, isn't that big of a deal, but it is kind of a big deal for me because I'm a perfectionist. Of a sort. I'm not really a perfectionist. Ain't nobody got time for perfection. I'm struggling. And of course, like, you know, you can't have separation totally, because something's gonna end up bleeding and stuff. But I hate the top. I ended up kind of goofing on it, and it ended up really streaky to begin with, and it just snowballed into kind of garbage. So I was a little bit disappointed with that, to be honest, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, this is me kind of getting real angry that it was like that I just let it get so streaky. So I'm like, alright, I gotta figure this out. So this is when I start going back over it, but I try to go in the opposite direction that I first started with. Well, right now I'm shading. And then I take, well, still shading. I ended up taking the same color or the same shade that I used before, and just going back over it the opposite direction to try and even out the streakiness and blend the shading in a little bit better. And it worked for the most part. Like, it clearly is still streaky, but it's better than what it was. And I've just come to realize that you just take what you can get sometimes when you're a little bit of a garbage marker user. I'm happy with it. I'm not like angry about it, but I wish I had planned it out a little bit better before I started. But this is a review video, and to be honest, the markers did their jobs fairly well. Like I said, there's some bleeding on some of them that really kind of irked me. It's hard to see it in the on camera, but in person I can see it, and it's bothersome, but it's not like too apparent. And with a little bit of digital retouching, it would probably be great. Like, you know, I wouldn't ever sell marker art as an original just because they fade eventually, but so yeah, here I'm going in with the Uniball, the white Uniball, to add some highlights. Also, I forgot to color the eyes, so I'm doing a little bit of the eye work. And now white Uniball gel pen to do the finishing touches. And here's the silver for the pentagram. And of course, because it's so much thicker than the line work and stuff, I have to go back over it with the Micron. And just redefine the lines. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with the Touch Me markers. For $20, that's a pretty solid deal. So, super excited about it. Definitely recommend these as you know, if you're trying to get into markers. So you know, if you're trying to get into markers and stuff, I really do recommend it. And yeah, so that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you click the bell, you should get notifications for when I post more content. And you can also follow me on social media at ShadowCastArt on both Twitter and Instagram. My Instagram has been a little bit slow lately just with the holiday season. Of course, there's a train. But I am working on more stuff, so that should pick back up now that I've got some time that's not consumed with Christmas shopping and wrapping and stuff. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye!
Who did this? Who the freak ate my snack pack?